Hello everyone, this is Jim Nix from NomadicPursuits.com, and in this video we're going to talk about Massive Color Madness using Aurora HDR 2018. Now, Massive Color Madness probably has a different meaning to probably everybody. What is oversaturated to some is just colorful and pretty to others. And of course, what's completely overcooked might be natural looking to some. So in this photo, I'm going to walk through a couple of different ways to adjust colors to get them to your liking, to create your own distinctive looks. And that really starts in the HDR Basic panel. I like to always start with temperature and tint. This was a beautiful sunset, so frankly there was already some pretty good color present, but I want to bring it back and maybe amp it up a little bit. So I like to start there with temperature and tint. I think it's important to add contrast to probably about every photo. And of course, HDR Enhance, just to bring up some of the details and textures, is, I think, always a good idea. Now, Smart Tone is going to help me lift a little bit of that shadow because this photo's kind of dark, so I want to bring up some of the brightness levels in the areas where it's a little too dark. I don't want to over brighten the already bright spots. So Smart Tone works great for that. Now, of course, saturation and vibrance are something that are, I think, an obvious choice for amping up the colors. And I'm going to go ahead and do that in this photo as well. I'm going to pull that up to about 20 and pull that up about 15, something like that. Now, already I think we've got a colorful image. We brought back some of the beautiful colors that existed. There are some nice oranges with a little bit of pink in it, and of course these beautiful blues on this lake scene that was shot. So now there's a couple of other things you can do in order to amp up the colors, and a few filters here that I think come into play. The first is HSL. There's a lot you can do with this. You can see that there's all these colors here, and by the way, there's a couple of colors in this new version, 2018, that didn't exist before. So if you wanted to bring up, let's say, the oranges and yellows in the sunset, you can do that. Even if you wanted to bring up the blues, you can do that just by adjusting the saturation levels. And there's the before, there's the after. You can see how that's getting more intense. Another thing you can do is just to create a little bit more drama. Say you want to take down the luminance of the blue, for example, to create more of a contrasty kind of look. You can also come over here and mess with the hues a little bit. If you want to create a little bit more of an orangey red look, take that orange hue slider to the left, that sort of thing. So there's a lot you can do there, and I'm going to take these back to 0 because I want to show you another idea, which is in color toning. Now, in this case, all I wanted to do is amp up the color in the sky. So the sky is primarily highlights, and the color I want to do is more of the orangey red. So I'm going to leave the hue about where it is, and I'm just going to drag this saturation over to, let's say, 20 or so. Let me show you the before and the after. I think that's a pretty obvious difference. Now, if you really want massive color sort of craziness, of course, you can just keep taking it further and further to the right. I like it at about 20. I think that's intensely colorful, but still believable. And again, season to taste, just like everything with saturation and other adjustments. Just do whatever it is that you like. Now, that's one idea. I'm going to set that back to 0, and I'm also going to show you the tone curve. Now, in here, you have a lot of options. You could maybe take this red and bring it up and make it a bit more intense, like that. Let me show you the before and after. There's the before, there's the after, and maybe even come to the blue and drag that a little bit more intense to get that color. And let me show you the before and after. That's with both the red and the blue. So you can see the tone curve can come into play as well. It's a very powerful tool, and I'm resetting that back to 0. In fact, now that I do that, some of these other adjustments that I've made don't really look that colorful. It's kind of funny how that happens. I think for this photo, I would just go back to color toning, drag the saturation on the highlights a little bit to the right. I think I was around 19 or 20, and I think I'd call that a finished photo. Here's the before, and there's the after. You can see the intensity and the saturation of the colors is quite a bit more compared to the original, and yet it's still believable. I think that looks like a real photo and not a completely oversaturated photo. But again, it's season to taste. What's colorful to me might be overdone to you, and that's fine. That's the beauty of products like Aurora HDR 2018. You have so much flexibility to create an image that you see in your mind and bring it to reality. But that's how I'd create massive colors using those different filters: HDR Basic, Color, Tone Curve, HSL, and even color toning. Again, choose what you like, mix and match, see how they work for you on any individual image. And one more time, I'll show you the before and after. There's the before, and there's the after. You can come up with a lot of different solutions, and that's how I would do it in this photo. I hope that it helps. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.